What it is, we back again. Fly Free Sports with another UFC preview and prediction video. This time we doing UFC 318. So y'all lock in, man. Tap in with me, like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. It's been a good day. I've been on this lemonade. You know, my son right now, he's selling lemonade. He's spreading his entrepreneurial wings. So, Duckin' Delicious Lemonade. Check him out, man. He out there getting it in. But yeah, man, we here for some UFC action, man. Very, it's a decent card. So we just gonna get straight into it on the previews and predictions. First fight of the night, we got who we got? We got Michael Johnson, the vet, 39 years old, coming in at 24-19 against Daniel Zellhuber, who's coming in off a loss back almost a year ago on the Sphere card against Esteban Ribovic. Daniel Zellhuber's a dog. That was a very good fight between him and Esteban Ribovic back in September. Michael Johnson, of course, vet, been around forever. I didn't even know he was still fighting. That's how long he's been around. He's been in there with everybody. Vet, been in there with Khabib, been in there with Nate Diaz, Justin Gaethje, Poirier, who's the main event for this card. He's been in there. He's been in the octagon with everybody. So there's no shortage of experience. I think he'll fare decently to start the fight, but it'll give way because I believe Zellhuber is a very talented fighter, very good striker, super technical, and I think he'll get the job done fairly easy. I'm going Zellhuber. I'm gonna give Michael Johnson a little bit of respect. I say it gets out of the first, but it goes no longer than the second. So if I had to pick, I'd say TKO, second round, Daniel Zellhuber. And that's pretty much it for that. Nothing to really get into. Second fight of the night is a very intriguing one, especially considering the way both of these guys fought last. You got Dan 50K Ige versus Patricio Pitbull. Sorry, it should be Mauricio. We're gonna get into it. Patricio Pitbull coming in. He's 0-1 in the UFC, but overall he's 36-8. Dan Ige coming in at 19-9. I mentioned it before on, I think it was the last video I actually did with the review for 317 or whatever card that was with Patchy Mix on it. I'm not putting no more stock into the Bellator guys, especially when it comes to fighting a dog like Dan Ige. Dan Ige's been around. He's another guy. He's been around. He's been kind of up and down as of late in the last couple of years, but when you put him up against a guy from Bellator, I'm not taking the bait no more. I do think Dan Ige will win. I don't know if he finishes him necessarily, but I do have him. I have him winning the fight. So that'll be, I guess, a parlay piece or something. But I put no faith in Patricio Pitbull, who got picked apart by Yair Rodriguez. Like, just picked apart. What can you say? It was the same thing that Mario Batista did to Patchy Mix, his homeboy. I'm calling them homeboys because they was both in Bellator. I don't care if they're cool or not. Don't know if they're cool or not. Don't care if they're cool or not. Yeah, it's just Dan Ige will win. 50K Ige will win. Hopefully he gets a fight of the night bonus to live up to his name. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for that. Third fight on the card. Who is next? It's a good one too. It's a good one. Oh no, it ain't. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. That could be a good one. But I fully expect Kevin Holland to come away with a victory. It's just Kevin Holland was very impressive in his last outing. And I think he'll fare well at welterweight. He's been kind of up and down in the divisions. You know what I mean? And hopefully he finds his home and stays there at 170 because he looked pretty good his last fight. You know what I'm saying? It seems like Kevin Holland fights so much. Like I feel like this nigga fights like 6 times a year. Maybe it's just me, but let me look at it actually. Let me look at it. Vicente Luque, Gunnar Nelson, and he fought the Ritter. Yeah, he has 3 fights already this year. This is gonna be his 4th fight, and we're only in July. He fought last month when he beat Luque, and he made it look easy. So fair play to him. But damn, like this nigga fights so many times. He fights more than the average fighter for sure. And yeah, Daniel Rodriguez, he's coming off a win against Ponzinibbio and Alex Morano last year. Kevin Holland. I got Kevin Holland. I got enough faith that Kevin Holland can neutralize him. I got enough faith that Kevin Holland can outstrike him fairly easily. I feel like he can get this. I feel like he can get this fight in a lot of different routes. I feel like he could sub him too as well, as we saw last fight. He's very slick with his submissions still, even at his age, and even with all the fights under his belt. Kevin Holland is still very dangerous. So I have really no reason to pick against Kevin Holland other than the fact that he can sometimes be inconsistent, but I don't expect a slip up against Daniel Rodriguez. So I got Kevin Holland with the win. Paulo Costa, 14-4 against Roman Kopylov, 14-3. So it's also an intriguing fight because, you know, Paulo Costa got off to such a great start of his career. We always felt like he was like the guy. Like before he fought Izzy, he was the guy. Like Paulo Costa was striking fear in people. And, you know, as the years went on, he kind of got figured out and all that good shit. But I still think he can be dangerous. You know what I mean? And Roman Kopylov, he's a very, very good fighter too as well. Coming off a win against Chris Curtis. Prior to that, he fought Cesar Almeida back in June of last year. Roman Kopylov is a dangerous guy. I remember one of them fights I lost money betting on Roman Kopylov when he fought Anthony Hernandez, when he fought Fluffy. I remember he got subbed, I think. He got subbed. Yeah. I got Roman Kopylov. Roman Kopylov for the win. I think he'll make it look good. Paulo Costa, only thing I worry about him with is his gas tank. And yeah, Roman Kopylov. I got Roman Kopylov. What we got? We on the main event. Main event. Dustin the Diamond Poirier coming in at 26-8 against Max Bless Holloway. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Max record. Max record is 26-8. Dustin the Diamond Poirier 30-9. This is Dustin's farewell fight. Retiring after this fight. Legendary career. He will be in the UFC Hall of Fame, as will his opponent. Max Holloway will be there one day when he retires. Yeah, I think this is actually a good thing, because a lot of the times we see fighters retiring when they're all broken down and they can't do shit no more. But Dustin Poirier, while not in his prime anymore, is still a very, very good fighter and a very skilled fighter still. He still has some left in the tank. I think he's just one of the guys he wants to go out on his own terms. And like I said, that's the honorable thing to do. You don't want to end up like Tony Ferguson or one of them guys still holding on and losing 25 fights in a row. Dustin Poirier, he's been alternating wins for the last couple years. A loss to Charles Oliveira, followed by a win by Michael Chandler, loss to Gaethje, win against Benoit Saint-Denis, and then his most recent fight, he lost to Islam Makhachev, who is, depending on who you ask, number 1 or number 2 fighter in the world. Yeah, I think, and Max Holloway, of course, he's coming off the big loss to Ilia Topuria last year. Max really disappointed me in the build up to this fight, man. Throwing salt on Ilia for whatever reason, I don't know. I never looked at Max like a hater or nothing like that until like, damn, it's like you finally get your chin rocked, and now all of a sudden you got bad shit to say about the guy that did it instead of just giving him his props and respect like Charles Oliveira did after his loss to Ilia Topuria. Like, I just didn't like it. It rubbed me the wrong way, especially coming from somebody like Max, who I always looked at as like a class act. You know what I mean? Always took his lumps. He's been in wars, you know what I'm saying? Ex-champion, you know what I mean? Like, Max is just legendary, bro. Like, Max Holloway is one of the best fighters that's ever lived, you know. So it's just disappointing to hear him talk like that about the new generation of fighters, especially after you lost to him. It just, I don't know, man. It leave a bad taste in my mouth. Pause. As far as Poirier, like I said, is still dangerous, and he seems to be one of those guys. Every time I bet against him, he wins. I don't know what it is about Dustin Poirier, but anytime I bet against Poirier, that motherfucker wins. And my gut is really telling me that Max Holloway will win this fight, but it's just kind of hard because, like I said, every single time I bet against Dustin Poirier, this motherfucker wins, bro. I bet against him in the second Conor fight. He knocked Conor ass out. I don't know if I bet against him in the third Conor fight, but I don't think I did. Yeah, I bet against him in the Benoit the knee fight. I don't know what I was thinking. He ended up beating him, knocking his ass out. Yeah, so Dustin Poirier has always been a tricky test for me. But however, man, I can't pick against Max Holloway. I think he'll bounce back. I don't think he wants to. This is actually the third time they're fighting, so I don't think he wants to lose a trilogy like that again. He lost one already to Volk, you know what I mean? And I just don't see Max losing 3 times to Dustin Poirier, especially this version of Dustin Poirier. You know, had this been a couple years ago, maybe, but I think Max will do enough and bounce back from his KO loss to Ilia. So I do have Max in a win. I have it going the distance though. I think this is gonna be a great fight. You know what I mean? I just want to put that out there. I think this is gonna be a banger. Poirier is not gonna go out like no hoe. Max, and we know Max's pedigree. Max has not, the first time Max was even dropped in his career was last fight. You know what I mean? And he's 34 fights in. So yeah, I don't think neither one of them going out like that, especially Poirier in front of his home crowd in Louisiana. He's supposed to be coming out with Wayne. You know, he got a lot on his shoulders, and I think he'll live up to that. I just think Max will outpoint him. I got Max in a split decision win in a damn near classic fight, man. It has a potential to be a classic fight. We'll see. You know, Max likes to bang. Poirier, he will bang with you. You know what I mean? I think he's a little bit more technically sound than a Justin Gaethje who went flat out on his face. And I know Justin Gaethje beat Poirier by head kick knockout. I get it. But MMA math, we're not using that. I do think Dustin Poirier is a little bit more technically sound, like I said, than Justin Gaethje. So I don't think he'll just be getting flatlined by Max Holloway. I don't see that. Could happen. It could happen because, like I said, Max is a dog, but I got to go on the distance and Max winning a close decision. That's pretty much all I got, man. UFC 318. Y'all tune in Saturday. I'm watching all the way through the prelims, the main card, all that. You know what I mean? It's one thing. Kyler Phillips, man. My boy Kyler Phillips, man. He's fighting on the prelim card. Yeah, I gotta go with the lab. Niggas know how I do with the lab. You know what I mean? I made a mistake with Mario Batista the last card, whatever card that was, 2 cards ago against Patchy Mix. Like I said, I drunk the Kool-Aid, and it is what it is. I owned up to it like a man. But Kyler Phillips fighting against Vinicius Oliveira, and Kyler Phillips is a plus 130 underdog. But I am taking Kyler Phillips to win because I know the dogs he trains with. I know what kind of pedigree the kid has. You know what I mean? I know he's been around champions. I know he be at the lab putting in crazy work. Him, Marcus McGee, Mario Batista, all the dogs up there, Suge. I know Suge do Red Hawk Academy too as well, but he started at the lab. Yeah, man. I'm going with the lab. Kyler Phillips, man. Explosive fighter, the Matrix. They don't call him the Matrix for no reason. Super duper athletic. You know what I mean? He'll kick your head off. Kyler Phillips, man. I'm going with Kyler Phillips in that match. I don't give a fuck what the odds say. He's gonna win. Anyway, man, that's been my predictions for UFC 318. Y'all tap in, like, share, subscribe. Fly Free CT. This is Fly Free Sports, and we out.